Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gum Guruvyo Namaha, Om Aim Saraswatiye Namaha, Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadetamastu, Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Anjana Divinandasya Jananjana Jalagaya Chakshurum Mininam Janadasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What happens here is called satsang. Satsang is a Sanskrit term composed of sat and sangha. Sat is truth, reality, what is as it is. And sangha is association, to be together. Therefore, meaning association with the truth, to be near with reality. When a sincere disciple, a honest disciple, a real disciple is in the presence of his spiritual master, satsang takes place. Satsang is a word that has very deep implications. Because satsang can happen only in those who seek for truth, real seekers. Otherwise, why somebody will want a meeting with reality, a meeting with truth? No? Only a few want really a meeting with truth, to associate with reality. If you look around nowadays, you will see a lot of people interested in entertainment, not in reality. television, parties, alcohol, dance, sport, all kind of shows. And what is all this entertainment if not an escape from reality? To run away from reality. You know, you see around this world so temporal, so everything changed. Sometimes you are rich, next moment you are poor. Sometimes you are young, after that you are old. Everything passed so quickly. Childhood, young age, mature age, everything happens so quickly. People appears in our life and they disappear. So most of us feel this sense of insecurity in life. No? Every moment everything can happens. So unpredictable. So it's very natural that many of us want a sense of security and to escape from these feelings of insecurity. And when we escape from the insecurity, we escape from life, we escape from reality, we escape from truth. But there are a few that we ask ourselves, if in this life, in existence, there is something that is real. Means real never change. A dream is not something real, have a beginning and an end. Yeah? Before the dream, you are who you are. During the dream, you are Superman, Batman, or a butterfly, and you wake up, the dream is over, then you know it's a dream, was short, have a beginning and an end. Something that is real all the time. Yeah? If you look somewhere in some corner and you for a moment you see an elephant, and disappear, you will know this is not real. This was some kind of imagination, an apparition, something like that. But it's not real. Something that appears for a moment and disappears. It cannot be. Something that is real is more permanent. It's there all the time. Real. And if there is something that is real in life. About myself, I see my body, I was a child. Then I see a picture, I was young. I changed so much. My ideas, my opinions, my principles changed so much when I was a child and a young age, mature. I change, I see different, the world, life. I have different opinions. So, if there is something in me that is real, something that is truth, and from there, from this curiosity, out of this divine curiosity, born the seeker. Certain people go after comfort, commodity. Better forget about it. No, forget about it. More entertainment. Go to the party. It's natural. Life is like that. That's it. But a few of us cannot live with this enigma. if there is something that is truth, something that is real in this life, something in us that never change, we live with this impression there is something in life that should be real. And you go and search for it. Satsang is a meeting with reality, with what is as it is, a meeting with truth. That is for seekers of truth. It's not entertainment. It's not escaping from reality. At the moment that the speaker here try to entertain you, will not be satsang. Will be to, if I try to entertain, will be an escape from your daily life and your children's and your wife and your work and all that, to forget a little in a kind of spirituality that is a way to escape from real spirituality is to seek for, searching for reality. Many think that a satsang requires only the presence of an enlightened spiritual master. That's enough. You want satsang? Bring a guru. If the guru is enlightened, will be satsang. I remember in my young days, friends go to different masters. I was with Sai Baba, and I was with Bābājī. I was with this master. I was visit Swami Muktananda. Satsang here, satsang there. And we ask, but what do you think? He's enlightened? You felt something? Because we have this idea. If the master is enlightened, will be a good satsang and we will feel something. If the master is not enlightened, no feeling, nothing. That means the master, everything on the master, because the ego is like that. The ego always put the responsibility in the other. So many think that satsang requires only one thing, that is an enlightened guru, and that's it, overlooking the importance of the disciple's receptivity. What is this disciple openness? Many go attend different discourses of masters, enlightened beings, without noticing that as long as they keep their fears and preconceived ideas, they will not experience satsang. Because they are hermetically closed, even if they meet gurus, they cannot access to their presence. If they are not receptive when approaching a saint, they will meet only the teacher, but not the guru. Means they will meet the pedagogic aspect of the guru. Every guru have a pedagogic aspect, a teacher. That the words of the guru, the explanations of the master, the form of the master, the religion of the master, all the things are part of the aspect of the guru that is the teacher. But it's not the presence of the guru. You understand this part? So it's very important, before we search for a guru, before we search for a meeting with a spiritual master, to cultivate the disciple in us. There is a very known sentence, a phrase in India that say that whenever the disciple is ready, the master appears. That means we don't have any control on the appearance of the guru, but we have a lot to do in relation to the preparation of the disciple in us. Preparation of the disciple, because when the disciple is ready, the master will appear. Existence will never leave you alone. What means the preparation of the disciple? To cultivate the disciplehood. All these qualities, this is so important. Many people search for a guru. Many people reject gurus. Many different positions. But the main thing, if you cultivate the disciple in you, all these qualities that make you ready in order to become in contact with a spiritual master. And they are openness, receptiveness, humbleness, truthfulness. If you're ready to trust, if you can trust, if you can surrender, if you can give yourself, if you are a real seeker for truth, a real seeker, if you really have the ambition, the aspiration for a meeting with reality. And then, if you are enough receptive, open, you only sit in the presence of a guru. You don't need to do nothing else. You only sit near to a guru. And the magic of the satsang will happen. Nothing else need to be done. Nothing else. Good. Those who have been educated in the Western culture tends to mistake a disciple for a student, a master, a guru for a teacher, professor or educator, a satsang for a lesson, the lecture. You understand? We are confused about these two things. We think are more or less the same, and they're very different. Because we made the confusion, because we mistake a master from a teacher, a disciple from a student, make very difficult for the West to understand the phenomenon of the master-disciple relationship. Because then will be impossible for me to understand why a student or a disciple need to surrender to the teacher or to the master. Why to surrender? If you go to university, to the school, to whatever, why you need to have devotion for your teacher? Why you need to offer a flower? Why? Many things you cannot understand. So it's important to understand very clearly the difference between both of them. When we talk about disciple and student, we talk about two different directions. It's like the same that when we talk about science and religion. They are the same, but different directions. Science looks for the external world. religion for the internal. Same thing between disciple and student. Student is for the science, disciple for religion. The direction of the student is the phenomenal world, is the objective world, the reality of names and forms. The disciple search for his own existence, or the ultimate subjectivity. The student is for the object, the disciple for the subject. Is clear? The student search for knowledge. The teacher give information. The disciple search for himself. Search for something existential. The student analyzes and encodes the words of the teacher. Work with the logic. The disciple eat, drink, absorb the words of the master. Make them part of himself. The disciple is a child of silence. He born when the mental chattering stopped. Because the student-teacher relation, the relation of the teacher with the student, is on the basis of the mind, the head. Is one mind talk to the other? Although the relation master-disciple belongs to the heart. We need to understand the difference. The head is useful in order to study, but is an obstacle in order to learn. The heart is essential, indispensable in order to search for your reality. But is totally useless for science, for knowledge, for information. So the relation of the teacher and the student is on the head, is pedagogic. The relation of the master and the disciple is a romance. What happens between Jesus and his disciples was love. What happens between the Buddha and all his disciples, the Baal Shem Tov and his disciples, Shankar and his disciples, Lord Chaitanya and the 6 Goswamis, has nothing to do with pedagogy. It was a love story, nothing else. The relation between the teacher and the student, they meet in the head, And that is the reason that it's a very utilitarian relation. Because it belongs to the mind. So these relations have clear goals. The school, the college, diplomas, certificates, university, profession, and then finish is a very, very utilitarian relation. We have certain goals to reach, certain places to achieve, something to achieve. The relation between master and disciple have no goals. In certain moment, the student leave the teacher, leave the university, become independent. If you succeed, you become independent. You continue with your profession, your family, your life, and you never even become in contact anymore with your teacher because the goal is finished. You succeed. The relationship between master and disciple have no goals, and in the heart of the disciple never born the aspiration for independence from the Guru. You need to understand. We say that the master-disciple relationship is of the heart, is love. In love there is no goals. Love is not utilitarian. If you ask somebody why you love, they say, I love because, my wife is a daughter of a big politician and I want a very high position in the party. This is not love. Why you love? What is your goal? My goal is to make money and my wife is a millionaire. So this is not love. If you have goals or interest, love is not utilitarian. If you are in love and you want to be independent from the other, this is not love. The relationship between master and disciple is on the basis of love. The disciple never wants to be a part of his guru. The disciple wants to serve forever, eternally, his spiritual master. If the disciple go away from the guru, it's only by an explicit order of the master, but not as his desire. Master-disciple relation is not utilitarian. What happens between the teacher and the student is communication. One mind talks to the other. One mind informs the other. No? What happens between master and disciple is communion. Is a magic phenomenon of two hearts palpitate together in the same tune, one with the other. It's like two bodies with one soul. Communion is like communication. You need the body, physical body. You need to talk, you need to hear, you need to look, see. It's a communication. In communion exists beyond time and space. The student search for information. The student search for knowledge. And the teacher inform, give knowledge. The disciple search for himself, for his own reality. The disciple search for his authenticity, for his himself. Satsang is an adventure, it's not a lesson, it's not a lecture. Satsang is not a discourse. Satsang is an adventure of exploration, of investigation that master and disciple take together. Like the student with the teacher. What happens between them is a class, a lesson. This is a discourse, a conference. But between a master and a disciple, what happens is satsang. They go and investigate and explore, very together. It's not that the guru knows more than the disciple. Sometimes the guru can be an analphabet and the disciple can be an erudite, scholar. Not is that the master is a better explorator, is a better, more experienced investigator. So they go together to explore, to inquire, to investigate. For the teacher and student, they belongs to the discovering. Master and disciple to the revelation. It's a different thing. A scientific can discover. A master reveal. So, in this retreat, we will go for exploring, investigate about relationship. This is the main subject, the subject matter. And we begin from our questions. And this subject of relationship arises several questions. Why are there so many murders, wars, and acts of terror? Why we, as humanity, destroy the environment and nature? Why aren't we capable of establishing relationships, sincere relationships with family and friends? Relationship not on the basis of exploitation. Why is it so difficult for us to establish relationships without controversies, tensions, conflict? What are relationships? This is important. What are what we call relationships? Relationship, human relationships, are a group of interactions and ties made between different individuals through the meaning of communication. These interactions, these ties, these human relations are society. And pay attention, it's not that in a society there are relations, human relations. No. The society is the relations. Because what is society? Usually we have the impression that society is something that is there in the television, in the news, or in the newspapers. The society, and we critique, all of us have a lot of critics against society. Society is very aggressive, society is violent, society, Iran with America, Jewish with Arabs, this fight, because society nowadays becomes so aggressive, violent, and all this. But result that society is the way we relate one with the other. If I relate to you in an aggressive way, society is aggressive. If you relate to her in a violent way, society is violent. Society is made of our relations. No? We are society. It's not possible to change society without change ourselves and the way we relate one to the other. That is absurd to try to talk about a peaceful society, but I continue to relate to you in a violent way. Chaos and conflict reign the world nowadays. And this chaos have their origins in human conditioning, which is the source of all the sorrow, conflict, pain, suffering, and misery. This human conditioning is all our fears, ambitions, desires. Is the way we have been programmed, the human conditioning. How we can say the mental human conditioning. Like a computer, our programmation. We have been programmed, and very bad programmed. As a consequence of this human conditioning, humanity is divided, fractured, totally divided geographically, linguistically, culturally, politically, ideologically, religiously, totally divided. And this is a consequence of the human condition. Now, something very important. This incoherence that we see in society is due to our disorderly manner that we relate one to another. The chaos, the disorder in the society have its origins in the disorderly manner in which we relate to one another. And in turn, this is a reflection of our internal disorganization. Please try to pay attention. Try to pay attention, because this is a little more delicate. You have to pay attention in yourself. How all the three are connected. The chaos, the conflict in the level of the society. How this chaos is an expression of our disorder in our ways of relating one to the other. And how the disorder in our way to relate is an expression of our internal disorganization. As we say before, that society is not something that is different from us, but we are society. Yes? And we say that society is our way to relate, our relations, human relations. So at the end, the chaos that we see all over the world in society is an expression of the internal disorder of human beings. How I can cultivate an internal order to rules, to laws, to put laws is not possible. You can put a law is, for example, forbidden to sell alcohol, but you cannot make a rule to stop to want to desire alcohol. You can put a rule forbidden to smoke cigarettes or to eat this or to do that, but you cannot put a rule for the internal world, for you to stop the desire for ice creams. That is not possible. That creates a kind of repression. No? And repression, we know that don't change nothing. Maybe make you obsessive about things, but the only way to create order, discipline, but not the discipline that creates repression, not the kind of discipline of the rule and of the law, but the discipline that creates understanding. Yeah? Understanding create order, create discipline. When you are a child and you play with matches like soldiers, and you like your matches, your toys, your things, you cannot leave them. You are very attached to them, but you are ready to give up when you understand that these are only matches. This is not something expensive. It's not something so important. You understand the value of the things, no? Then you are ready to give up the matches or whatever. So this is the reason why to go so deep into try to understand the subject of the relationships. Because relationships is the best way to look at ourselves. We reflect ourselves in the way we relate to one another. We reflect ourselves in our relationships, like in mirrors. You can know yourself if you analyze, if you look, if you see in your relationships. Delving deeper into the ways we relate one to the other, we discover that every human being has created an image of himself and of others. This mental image implies a reference point about oneself. Is our own personal opinion about ourselves. Is our personal vision about ourselves. A mental self-portrait that includes a group of characteristics, qualities such as abilities, talents, virtues, defects. Is a collection of characteristics, whether they are real or imaginary, that constitutes the self-image that we believe we are, that we think we are, and our own identity. By internalizing and storing other people's judgment about us, we have drawn a sketch about ourselves. We build up a self-image based on the opinions of others and our own interpretations of their opinions. Means based on what they think and our own interpretation about what they think about us. Ultimately, the self-image constitutes a scheme made up of opinions that have been recorded about ourselves. In short, the opinion forms a diagram composed of recalled opinions about ourselves. You understand? The opinions about ourselves forms a diagram composed of recalled opinions about ourselves. Similarly, starting from our image, we create image of others. Since we take ourselves as reference point, we see others the same way we perceive ourselves. As long as we conceive ourselves as images, we conceive others and even God, enlightenment, truth, Shakti, reality as images. No matter how abstract can be the idea, is we conceive images. In fact, we will live as idolaters as long as we live according to our own self-create images. The complex of the image begins and ends in us. Have nothing to do with the others, in the sense that we are the problem and we are the solution. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Bolo Satguru Brahmānanda Mahārāja ki jai. Om Bolo Satguru Bhagavan Bābājī Mahārāja ki jai. Hari Om Tat Sat.